Okay, today's my topic is to talk about the Chinese product. Now I'm wearing the Anta shoe sneaker with the UR Urban Revival pants, and then this kind of set roofs, general leather bag. It was great. Why I should have to tell you? Because this topic is very high. Because why I use a lot of Chinese products, because the Chinese products nowadays are very cheap and very high, with a very high CP value now comparing to 10 years ago. That's why I highly recommend you to use Chinese products. I tell you what, this is why. Now I'm walking. I tell you what now. 10 years ago, Chinese products 10 years ago, Chinese products might be a little bit rough, and it was not so high quality, and people might think that it was so plastic kind of stuff. And people think, the thinking that the Chinese products are very rough and not lasting for long, and the duration is very short. 10 years ago, people thought that, but now it's totally different. Nowadays, especially the 2021, now this year, it's totally different, because the Chinese products are very, very good quality and very cheap, and the CP value is high, and also the design and the advanced technology. You can imagine they use a lot of advanced technology, and it's very cheap and comparing to the foreign brands. And Chinese makes the products to be a vegetable price to dedicate to the road, so the poor countries can use the Chinese products with the high technology, the high advanced technologies like the Huawei phone, GPU, CPU. Also, I'm using the CPU, the Longsin 38400 with the GPU Jinja Micro JM7201 GPU 3D card with the laptop CPU Zhaoxin KX6640MA, using very happily, and it's very cheap, so reasonable, cheap, and great quality. Nowadays they have the great quality and long duration and the cheap price, and even longer duration. The design is even better than the American brand or the foreign brands. That's why the foreign countries, especially the Western world, is afraid of the Chinese, and they are now sanctioning us because we are cutting their profit. So before they could make a very high profit for making those products, the markup was very high before. When the Chinese have invented the same thing, what the Western world have, and then the price is dramatically dropped because the Chinese make it very low so that everyone can use it. That's why in the Africa, Southern American, they can use it very, very low price. They can use it, so it's very affordable and it's very great, and they are contributing to the world and dedicating to the world with this kind of so good price. I think it's a very benefit to the world. And most important thing is this, the the design and the things now is different comparing to 10 years ago. Now is the time for use Chinese stuff like the cars, especially they can have engines, the C919 plane, high-speed train, all those kind of things they will have dedicated to the road, and the plane CPU sooner or later, the GPU, 3D cards, etc. will be the very low price, with the very cheap price sooner or later. That's why it's very good. And to sum up, now is the time for using Chinese products now, because it's very cheap first, and then second is good quality, and third is the design is very great now, and I'm almost using all of the Chinese products now, like my phone and CPU, GPU, urban revival, the closer pens and down the east, and all the things are very good looking, nice, great looking, and I got the story to tell you. Was that I bought the Netgear Orbit Wi-Fi with the router for 6,000, but the Chinese one, the iQuai, the router plus the AP, just 2,000 RMB, so 2,000 and 6,000. But I tell you what, that when I was using the Orbit, it quite a lot disconnected, and it was not stable comparing to the 2,000 iQuai one. And the iQuai one has more functions, and it's like a business router with the AP separated, but the Netgear Orbit integrated with the APs, so it was not so professional, and disconnected a lot periodically, bit by bit. That's why, the storytelling that you about the price now. The Chinese product is 3 times lower, but the quality and the functions are 2 times more, or even 3 times more, and even the price, maybe some products maybe 3 times or 4 times lower. I mean the foreign brands maybe 10 times higher than the Chinese brands, but the functions lower, maybe 3 times lower than the Chinese brand, etc. So that was now the case happening now, and it's crazy. You can see it, it's just crazy. With that kind of price, with this kind of functions, can I imagine the Chinese stuff is cheap and good, and good quality, and the design also good, and it's professional one. That's why it's very great. And now, yeah, this is one story, and what kind of story I'm thinking, yeah. And also, yeah, the profit I've talked about already, because the Western world that have the the advanced technology, and the Chinese and the world doesn't have, so they make up a lot of profit. It was crazy. And another thing is the very similar things, like nowadays is a Chinese one. We got the technology, so that very similar thing to the what I have said. It's like now Chinese can make the vegetable price. So now the foreigners could make a lot of profits now. That's why Samsung not Sony, okay, and it's like now the cars or something very advanced now. Okay, if you have any comments, just leave it below and talk about it. Okay, see you. So now some Chinese products nowadays are needing the road as well, and making their own standards to let other countries to follow, and using high advanced or even the most advanced technology for the products. But with vegetable price. So the best products, but the cheapest price. So I just buy and use Chinese products. Now Chinese products are different. They are all high-ended, the most high-ended, with the cheapest price. So why people should buy Chinese products? Why people buy American brands and Western brands with the highest price but not good level, not high-end, low-end products, or just normal products, and then with high price? Why I need to buy the foreign products? So why Chinese products are great? Why Chinese products are the best in the world? I have already explained, because it's cheapest and it's the best. But the foreign brands is most expensive, but it's cheap. The quality is cheap. It's not good. Maybe just okay. That's what I'm going to say. Right now, the design are great for the Chinese car.